Hi everyone, this is Amy at Amy Joy Studios, and I wanted to share a couple of things that I picked up at Hobby Lobby last night, give you some demonstrations, a couple of how-tos, and just kind of show you a little bit of how these products work. So I was in Hobby Lobby last night and picked up a whole bunch of stuff on clearance, and a lot of the ladies on YouTube have been sharing their Hobby Lobby hauls in which they got these Brea Reese products. So what I got were the glitter brush markers and the paint writers. So what you're looking at right now is one of the glitter brush markers, and the set that I got has a gold color in it. There is a Mars black and kind of a coppery color, and I'll list the actual paint names below in the description box. But what I'm going to do here is just to show you on the brush markers how to set them up. So when they come in their packaging, once you get them out of there, you're going to see that they each have a little neon green plastic ring around the center. And I'm going to do this on 2 different markers so that you can really get an idea of how to do it. So this one is the gold color, and the way I'm mixing it, I saw this on a YouTube tutorial about mixing glitter paint pens, is to kind of act like you're warming up your hands and move the marker that way, and then I'm just going to shake it up like you normally would, a bottle of paint or something like that. And then there's a little push area on the body of the pen, and it actually says push right on it, and you just want to squeeze right there. So it's kind of like pinching the pen, and you keep pinching, and then if you hold down as you pinch, you'll start to see the ink come down through the brush, and then you can start to paint with it. And with this one, they work very similarly to the mermaid markers. You can get some mileage out of pushing it that first time, and then if you start to notice that the ink is getting a little bit less, you just give it another push again, give it another squeeze, and you'll get some more down there. So here's that little plastic ring. You just basically unscrew that top that's got the brush in it. And there's the tricky part, is you're going to screw it back on, and it's going to reach a point where it feels like it just stops. And what you do is you continue through that, and it will click. Keep screwing it back on, and then you're going to see how the top of that marker and the body of the marker are flush. See how they are? So try to make sure that there is no gap between where you see that push part and the part that you just screwed on. So that can be a little bit tricky at first, just because when you're screwing it back on, you think once it stops, typically on, when you're screwing something back on, a cap or something, when it stops like that, if you continue to screw it on, it'll break. Well, in this case, act like you're going to break it, and then you'll hear that little click, and that means that you are home free, and you just continue to screw it back on until it's tight and forms a full marker, so to speak. So right now I'm playing with the Mars Black. Each of the 3 markers does have some shimmer. The gold was definitely the most shimmery, and then the Mars Black is a little bit more subtle. And I have to say, after playing with these a little bit, I like all 3 of them. The black one might be the one that I get the most mileage out of, because I could see using that in a lot of illustration, and I really like that it just has that little bit of glimmer in it. So I just think that adds a little extra something. And I have a lot of black brush markers to begin with, but I think this will be a nice one to use with watercoloring and mixed media. So I'm just showing you some close-up pics of the ink, and hopefully you can see the glimmer come through. It doesn't always come through as well on camera, of course, but hopefully it'll give you at least an idea. And as you can see, like I said, that gold color definitely has the most shimmer. So now we're going to move on to the Brea Reese paint writers. These are super cute. I just love the little chunky pen tube that they come in, and I only picked up 2. I got a neutral gray, and then the color that I'm working right now with is called Lake Blue, and that's actually the background color on the paper that I'm writing on. So it's a really vibrant, gorgeous blue. And so you can see, if you want to use it as a paint writer, you'll definitely get a dimensional look. And personally, I don't know how much I would actually use it as a paint writer. I like the paints themselves, so I'll probably end up mostly using it as just a paint, and like I would anything else. And right now I'm just showing you the neutral gray. I'm just showing you how to open that up. That one's quite a bit simpler than the glitter brush markers. So you basically just pop the top off, and there's a little like a foam seal on top that keeps the paint in there. Take that off, and then you just screw your writer back on. And I gave it a really good shake. Now I'm just going to do what I would normally do with most mixed media projects. I'm working on some watercolor paper, and I'm just putting some gesso on the paper. I had a paintbrush that already had a little bit of paint in it, so you're still seeing a little bit of that lake blue. So this is just testing out the product the way I would normally use it, and getting the gesso onto the paper, and then letting the gesso dry, or you can use a heat tool. And now I'm just using that neutral gray paint writer to write and just do some scribbling, and to see how the dimensional look is after it's dried. I was curious to see how long it would dry and how it would look. So I started out using the heat tool, and then I realized that it was dimensional enough that I would probably need to set it in front of a fan, or even let it wait overnight. So I set it in front of just a plain old, house fan for about an hour, and it completely dried. It's glossy. It has kind of a plasticky feel. It's super glossy though, so it doesn't look like cheap plasticky, but it definitely it made me think of plastic. So that gives you a little overview of both of those products. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.